Hello. Can you hear me? Oh, it looks like you're muted. There you go.
Yep, I can hear you. I thought I was going to have you coming in my Bluetooth, but apparently it didn't connect.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's so weird sometimes. Sometimes it connects and sometimes it doesn't.
I get that. I need to charge my Bluetooth headphones.
Yep, so I'm going to try and get it to come on by going over here and telling it to use the headphones.
Isn't Bluetooth amazing?
Yes. Now that I've learned how to use it, it's fantastic.
I like to listen to music when I'm at the grocery store, and so like I got really used to using my Bluetooth headphones, and then I forgot them or they died or something, so I had to use my earbuds. And I was so used to leaving my phone in the cart and then just walking across the aisle to grab what I needed or something. Right. And then I remembered I had my earbuds in and
Yep. Okay. Oh, I guess you can't see me there. There I am.
There you are. Pretty and pink.
Hello. Thank you. Yes. And look, see.
It's back.
My hairdresser, it's not, she didn't do as much, but my hairdresser was willing to come to my home.
Oh, that's so nice.
When you've known each other for 13 years, it's kind of like, yeah, no, I'll take a chance.
Yeah, my hair is fake red, and it has been for like 10 years now. And this is the longest I've gone without coloring it, and it's kind of bleaching. Like, it's getting very like Anne of Green Gables red. He called me carrots.
Yes. I remember that scene. So if you like that, the old original ones, did you watch the one that
the new one?
Netflix, yeah. See, I loved it. Well, I loved it, but I look at things from a perspective of like the story it was a similar story, but this one had more depth to the characters. And then the cinematography that was used, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. And their storyline, they kind of upped it a bit and brought in a little bit more of a modern spin.
I mean, the story originally is what, from the 20s?
Even before then.
Was it?
Lucy Maud Montgomery wrote it. And she was a character in one of the episodes of Murdoch Mysteries, which my husband and I are watching all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, because have you ever heard of Murdoch Mysteries?
I have.
Okay.
Well, I haven't watched them though.
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking 18, I think there's 18 seasons. I don't know. We're in 11 right now.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like we don't watch it every single day. Well, actually, almost every night we go to sleep with it. But here you've got this detective started off in like 1890, whatever, but now they're in 1904. And with all these there's always a murder that he has to solve, but he's very scientific. For most people, he'd be very droll. They play up the fact that he's a devout Catholic in this thing. It's like some of it's good and some of it, they play it up to the point he's had to face the prejudices that come out of Toronto, Canada. And the storylines are fantastic, and they have some great humor in that. Like last night's episode, what was it I watched? And I said, oh my gosh, Shades of Today. You can see how they're mimicking to the modern world of the last 20 years. But Murdoch and his band of coppers, they meet everybody who's ever been an inventor. There's been Tesla, there's been Edison, there's the guy who wrote the books, the Sherlock Holmes books has been a character. And some of these characters have recurring roles, but you get to see their progress of how these inventors work. That's what becomes fun about it.
Yeah.
It's stuff that we already use today, but they're talking about, and I remember one day George is walking around and he's one of the coppers and he goes, just imagine one of these days, you're going to be able to have something in your hand that's going to be with no wires, and you're going to get to talk to somebody across the other side of the river. And it's just hilarious the way it's put together.
You know what's kind of funny about that? Also, hi, Rhonda.
Hello, Rhonda. Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
Andrew and I actually talked about it. We think it's really funny because, like, you know, cell phones happened, and so you're able to talk to anybody, anywhere,
Right.
anytime. But then as time's gone on, people don't like cell phones as much, and so they text all the time. So we're just really sending fast letters to one another constantly.
Right. I don't know, personally, because I loved Star Trek when I was a kid, I always go, oh, look, we now have that little quarter in our hand all the time with all the information.
I remember getting a BlackBerry and thinking like this is the pinnacle of technology.
Yeah.
All right, hi guys. So we've got Isaac on here too.
Sorry, I'm late.
Is A-okay. How do we have two Isaac Schaefers?
Whoa, who's the other Isaac? That's so exciting.
Oh, he's your ghost. Wow, that COVID stash is real.
I think it turned out pretty good. Yeah. Looks great, man. It's gotten to the point where there are people who definitely give me like double takes. They'll be like,
well, it doesn't help that you're an ent.
yeah.
If you weren't so giant, like, I don't know, it gives you like a more serious face. Like no one would expect you to shoot puns constantly like you do with that like serious stash.
Well, my promise, Mackenzie, and I promised her that as soon as I can have a beer at Hank's bar, I will shave it. And so I got to get new headshots before then.
Yeah.
We'll put them on all your business cards.
I'm going to shave everything off though, so it's a pure mustache. When I go to Hank's, that's what I'm going to do.
Oh my God. I feel like you should wax it too, like really get it into shape.
Curl the ends. There we go. Get the Captain Hook curl going.
All right. I don't know if you're going to sell a house or steal a train, but like that's on you, I guess. All right. Well, it's 1:06. I feel like, Isaac, do you want to get started or do you want to wait a little bit longer?
Well, let's get started. So yeah, Robyn's going to be the host today. I'm going to start with some news about phase 2. It's interesting because we're not, Northwest MLS is saying we're in phase 2, so we're allowed to start doing what I'm about to say. But as of May 19th is what it says. But technically, Pierce County is in phase 2 until June 1 is what is the projection. But anyways, according to Northwest MLS, we're now, as I said in the last meeting, our office is open. We can have up to 25 people in the office, which never really happens anyway, so that's totally fine. We can do showings now with 3 people, 1 person in the house and 2 buyers. So that's good to know. And then sign installers are now legal, essential, whatever you want to say there. So that's good news. Go ahead.
I thought we were, so Isaac and I have been preparing for phase 2 because we want to be like as ready and safe as we can be for you guys. So I actually posted about it in our Facebook group, and then I like shared a map from Governor Inslee, and it said we were still in phase 1. And then yesterday I was like, hey guys, guess what? I got too excited. We're still in phase 1. So
yeah, it's weird. So we are still in phase 1, but the Northwest MLS has said, Northwest MLS rules is allowing us, because Governor Inslee doesn't dictate the rules for the Northwest MLS is, I'm struggling articulating this. Governor Inslee has given us certain rules, but then the Northwest MLS has elaborated on it. So we are allowed to have 3 people in a showing now. That's pretty much the big. So anyways, that's pretty much the big change. I'll let you know if I hear anything different. I called the MLS to confirm, and they said yes, we're good with that. So anyways, that's pretty much the only big change that affects us as of May 19th. And I'll let you know if anything goes from there. We are still supposed to wear face coverings when we're in a showing. Yeah, that's where we're at. So Robyn, I'll let you take the lead from there.
So to speak beyond Isaac's point, I've also, sorry, neighbor kids. I also have created a bunch of different signage and stuff. So if you want to keep yourself safe at your listing, if you want to request that people wear booties in the listing, if you want to request people wear gloves, etc., I can create that signage for you. Don't forget, we still have the COVID-19 disclosure and screening available to you guys. You know, as things unfold, we will be staying on top of it as fast as we can because it does seem to change day by day. Isaac and I have been tracking the news pretty carefully. I like to communicate with you guys via our ROGTK Facebook brokers group. I try to post in there pretty regularly as updates happen, but Isaac and I can also send out emails. If you have any questions, just reach out to us and let us know what your concerns are. But in better news, I would like to welcome TJ Call to our brokerage. He is our new broker. He's awesome. He was a basketball coach in Tacoma, and he comes from a basketball background, so he knows his stuff. He gets stuff done. I am super excited to have him on board, and I'm sure all of us will be seeing a lot from him.
He still is a basketball coach at Tacoma Community College. So he still is, and he plans on keeping that position. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Also, I'd like to take a minute to say, let's all say a well wish for Marty. She is not able to attend today because she is having surgery. So Marty, when you see this, we all send you our best and we hope you feel better
Absolutely.
soon. Yep. Okay, so to get started, I would like to talk to you guys about virtual open houses. So today I want to go over sort of the 2 main types, and I'm going to focus on Facebook Live. There are other applications you can do virtual open houses such as Zoom. I think Facebook Live is pretty reliable. They have a pretty strong feed. It's a great way to reach out to a bunch of people in your sphere. So I will do a Tech Tuesday on both of them, but today we're just going to sort of go over Facebook Live. So there's 2 sort of types of virtual open houses that you can do with Facebook Live. There's ones you can do actually at the property, and then there's ones that you can do just from your house. You know, as COVID-19 unfolds and the year goes on, there is a chance that we will have to take more precautions in the fall and winter. So I think if we really learn these skills now, if anything troublesome comes down the road, we can be prepared for it and be experts at it already. So if you are actually at the property, I think the first thing you should do is promote your open house in advance. So we did this for Craig a few weekends ago for his listing, and it was our first time, so we just sort of winged it and tried to figure out like what worked, what didn't work. We promoted his virtual open house in advance by posting about it on Instagram, and then we posted about it on the Team Tuttle business page, and then it was shared to Craig's personal sphere on his wall of his personal Facebook. So all of those together, we got probably, I think it was 120 views about the advanced showing of the virtual open house. You guys know when I create your little Instagram slides, it's usually all the pictures, right? I try to do the beginning of the property, go in through the kitchen, living room, etc. I don't really want to do that on these virtual open house posts because my goal is to make people, I want people to anticipate the virtual open house. I want them to be excited. So try to pick something that you want to highlight on the property. So like maybe a picture of the exterior of the house. And then, for example, Rhonda's listing, she's got that luxury listing in Gig Harbor, which is gorgeous. So maybe something like a teaser second photo, because remember, Instagram and Facebook both love carousel posts. So more pictures, the better. So if we had 2 slides and the second one had just a picture of the water at sunset and it said like, wouldn't you love to live here or something, just a teaser. So people are like, wow, that's a really pretty property. Like I'm actually going to get on that Facebook Live on Saturday and watch it. I also think it's a good idea to create a Facebook event for your virtual open house. So that is where with your Facebook business page, you can create events. And since you tag the location you're in, so for example, Tacoma or Gig Harbor or what have you, when people go to the events page on Facebook, they're able to find things in the area that they can do. And people are such looky-loos. They love open houses. Like people that you didn't anticipate or don't know will show up to attend this. So you want to make sure that when you make the event, you make it public, you share it from your business page to your personal page. Once you do that, just let me know and I can share it to our business pages and put it on our Instagram as well. I'm creating some new designs, so I'll have a teaser for the open house, information about the open house, depending on the property. Like if it's an investment teardown or something, we might not have like a picture of the property, but we'd have a picture of the lot or something, right? Like what does your dream home look like over this like teardown lot? What's also cool about having the event is you can share it to any of your groups or pages. So for example, I'm a part of Buy, Sell, Trade Tacoma. They've got thousands of members. They're fine with solicitation from independent businesses. So as you guys are, your own business, you can share that from your business page to the group. And that way people in the group are able to say that they're going to attend the event. When people say they're going to attend the event, there's going to be notifications pushed by Facebook. So you don't even have to do anything that says, your open house tour starts in 1 hour. Your open house tour is starting now. So it's going to get in people's face and remind them for you without you seeming pushy. So that's another benefit, I think, of creating an event versus just starting the Facebook Live. What's also a good idea, I think, is, some people don't have Facebook, so they might not, or not have a Facebook. Pretty much everyone has a Facebook, but some people might not go on Facebook very often. And so when people want to go online, they don't mind scheduling things. So if you send out an email with a flyer of the property or something and say, I'm going to be hosting a Facebook Live event this Saturday, you can send that to everyone in your sphere, and then they can actually get online and sign on for it. And again, if it's an event, it's going to remind them ahead of time to show up. So that's cool. I think before you start your open house, you want to figure out how long your open house is going to be. Craig, bless his heart, he's a beast. Craig had a 2.5 hour Facebook Live open house. Quite long. Craig is athletic, so he kind of just lapped the property for a long time. I don't really think that's necessary. What I would do is maybe have a Facebook Live event for an hour and, at every 15 minutes, check in and start again at the beginning of the property. So that way, if someone shows up 8 minutes deep, you can say, hi, Rhonda, I see your question about the kitchen. I'll actually get back to that at 2:15, and we're going to start the tour all over again. And that keeps people watching the feed longer than if they just popped in and they were like, oh, I missed it, it's over. So that's something that you can write in the remarks to let people know ahead of time. Like, I'll be hosting a Facebook Live starting again at 2 o'clock, 2:15, 2:30, 2:45, ending at 3. Craig did a lot of walking of the property, I think that's a good idea too, but there's two different ways that you can host Facebook Lives. You can do it either on your phone, which is what we did with Craig, or you can do it on your computer. If you want, if you stop your Facebook Live and then start the event again, you can switch between your phone and your computer. So if people are watching on your phone and then they ask for a plat map or something like that, or I don't know what other people would ask for, but you can share those things on your screen, or if people want to see what the property looked like in the backyard before it snowed or something, like if it's further down the road, you can show them the pictures along with the video of the property. Also, a disadvantage, I think, of doing it the way we did with Craig was it made the property seem smaller. I think just because Craig was really fast and he like sort of wanted to show off the house as many times as possible, it like he didn't give enough credit to the size of the rooms. Like it made the house feel like you were a teenager tearing through it, like you could, like it wasn't as big as it might have actually felt if you had taken the time to like go in the corner and really slowly pan around. So another thing to decide on is how you're going to be heard. I think for most properties, for most tours, just using your phone audio or Bluetooth, like AirPods or something, is probably fine. Think of the way that at normal office meetings, how Isaac and Craig, they really project. Like you hear every syllable about what they're saying. That's the way you need to speak when you are doing these virtual open houses. I think a lot of people default to the volume that they speak with on the phone. So, normally you'd speak like this if you were on the phone with someone. You have to project. Otherwise, people aren't going to be able to hear you. If the house is a bigger house, like Rhonda's listing, that luxury one, I would definitely say AirPods or something would be better than just using the phone audio, just because of the echo in some of the big rooms is going to make it sound a little bit weird, like a haunted house. Okay, so before you go to the property, something to keep in mind is backing up your phone and your charger. So Craig had his phone die halfway through his Facebook Live, so there was a 15-minute pause where it started to recharge, and then he was able to continue the Facebook Live again. It's important to make sure that your phone is ready to go or your computer is fully charged, and then remember, like, when you're having a live feed, it is going to take up so much of your data. It's going to take up so much of your phone's processing power. You want to make sure all of your other apps on your phone are closed and you only have your Facebook Live open. You also want to make sure that your phone is on Do Not Disturb, because, for example, if someone calls you in the middle of your tour, your computer will just go black and it will end the tour. You want to make sure that there's no music playing in the background, because remember, if you upload this to YouTube or share it with people and there's a chance, that the music can be heard in the background, sometimes like YouTube will strip all the sound of your video, and that means you've lost your entire tour, which would suck. So try to make sure that you don't have any music playing in the background. And then do what you would normally do if you were hosting a normal open house. You'd make sure the beds are made, make sure there's not dishes in the sink, make sure the windows are open, blinds are open, toilet seats are down, etc. I think a good idea before you start your virtual tour, when you go to the property, is to record a tour of the property just on your phone, not on Facebook Live. Pretend you're doing sort of a first walkthrough of your Facebook Live. It's a practice run. So, you start at the front door. I love when people start at the front door, and so does Katie Lance. She says that's her best way to go about it. But you start at the front door, you announce who you are. You say, hi, I'm Debbie Schultz with Realty One Group Turnkey. I'm here at this address property showing off, this blah, blah, blah for the next hour. Like, join me every 15 minutes for a tour of the property, and in between I'll be taking all questions and any just encouraging conversation with people. So after you've done that, I think a big incentive to do that rather than just winging it is because, you know, if you make a mistake, you can pause it and start over, you can crop it or whatever. But this is also marketing materials for you going forward. So, you know, Rhonda has this amazing luxury listing, and Rhonda is super personable and she's great on camera. So I think that her taking a video tour of this property after this property sells, she can use that to market to other luxury listings to say, even in the middle of a global pandemic, I got this property sold because I went above and beyond with both a Matterport tour, a virtual tour, etc. You can even record specific versions for people or just start your intro and then use a second video. So if you record your introduction, so, you know, hi, I'm Rhonda Hazy here at blah, blah, blah in Gig Harbor. Please join me, you know, for this virtual open house. Glad to have you with me. Like, she can say someone's name specifically and then send that to them to make it feel more like client care. Before you go live, you want to make sure that you start smiling before the recording starts. This is something I see a lot with brokers, is they get nervous or something before the camera starts, or they look at their phone sort of pensively and then the video starts and they're like, oh, hi. You want to make sure you are already in that oh, hi mode before you start recording. Otherwise, YouTube or Facebook is going to catch you. And it just feels artificial and weird. It's important to go slow when you tour the property. That was something we sort of had an issue with Craig's virtual tour. It was a beautiful sunny day, but because of that, you know, the camera doesn't change exposures as fast as your eyes do, even really nice, you know, iPhones and stuff. So he would pan from a darker area of the room to a window or something that was full of light, and then pan back, and he would go so fast that all this middle pan area would be in the dark. So you want to go really, really slow, as if you're taking a panoramic photo. I recommend sort of stretching your feet apart like you're gonna hit a baseball or something, and then twist your upper body and start over here, and then just really, really, really slowly unwind. Something I learned from America's Next Top Model, and it totally works. So also, same thing with light. Anytime you go from inside to outside or like into a basement or something, your Wi-Fi connection is probably going to get weaker. So you want to make sure to maybe take a pause. So when you get to the sliding door to go in the backyard, the Wi-Fi is going to need to reconnect to sort of re-strengthen itself. And you want to give it a second to say, like, you know, we're about to go outside. We've just put new pavers down. We've got this matured foliage, whatever you want to say, and then open the slider and then go outside. That gives your camera a chance to sort of catch up. Sorry, I took a bunch of notes on what I wanted to cover with you guys. So another big reason why it's a good idea to practice a tour of the property before you go live is because you want to think of a lot of stuff to say. You know, normally if you're writing marketing remarks, you only have to say a sentence or two about a room. But if you're going to be talking about that room repeatedly for an hour, you're going to have to come up with more things to say. So, you know, you don't want to just say, like, here's the great room, fantastic for entertaining. So you could say, now we're walking to the great room, and above us are vaulted ceilings, and below us we've got new carpet, and just take that time to sort of space out your tour of the room. If the house is vacant, this is a really creative idea I saw that I really like. I knew a broker, and she had made paper cutouts of common sizes of furniture. So she had this big piece of butcher paper rolled up, and then she'd unroll it and it was a bed. And then she had a couch and a table, and she would stage vacant properties with these papers, because people sometimes don't really get the concept of how big rooms are. But if you have something that shows a bed enough that people can see how big that space in the room is, that could be beneficial when people always think their furniture is way bigger than it is, in my experience. That's something that, you know, I think staging a property can be really important. It depends obviously on the listing. But I know for a while, staging companies weren't considered essential. So that's just something to think about. Like if we end up reverting back to a bunch of precautions, you can sort of create your own furniture to show off in a property. Throughout your Facebook Live video, you want to ask questions that encourage responses. So you want to be saying hello to people as they start showing up in the feed. So I would be like, hey, Isaac, glad to see you join us, you know, and then just continue on with the tour. And if Isaac sends a question like, what does the entryway look like? You know, then you can remind him like, you know, hi Isaac, saw your question. We're going to be doing starting back at the entryway at 2:15, just something like that. On Craig's feed, we got a lot of encouragement. So there was a lot of like, great listing, like that looks like a good neighborhood. Those are questions that you obviously want to just pause in the room you're in and take time to answer and embellish. People love call and response. I don't know what it is. It's like when people call a radio station to request a song and they hear their voice on the radio and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm famous. That like same principle has translated to Facebook Live. People love the thought that they are encouraging you and supporting your business and helping you have a better tour. If you're concerned about enthusiasm or people asking questions, you can always invite me to your virtual tour and I'll show up for the first 15 minutes and start encouraging conversations or replying to people. You also want to make sure, similar to whether it's Facebook Live or in Zoom, that when people ask questions, you do respond to them saying that you see the question and going forward. So make sure to check the chat. A lot of times, you know, with Craig, when he was walking the property, he didn't see the chats that were popping up on the comments that were live. And so I ended up responding to a lot of those. And so that's something to keep in mind, is to check the chat. So you can also ask your attendees if they know someone who's looking for a home. You can invite them to have a watching party so they can share your Facebook Live to their page and then they can tag their friends. So that's something I did. I shared Craig's business page Facebook Live from his personal page to my personal page, and then I invited some of my friends that I knew were looking for properties in that area to watch the Facebook Live event for me. You know, they probably wouldn't have shown up if I didn't tag them in the post, but it's something that watch parties are getting more common. So you also want to think about when people are going to be online. You can check your Facebook business page's insights to figure out what time of day and which days are going to work best for you. So for example, as we're getting into this beautiful summer weather, people might not be as inclined to watch a virtual open house Sunday at 2 because they want to be out at the park or at their friend's house or something. So I think choosing the time of day, maybe a little bit earlier in the day when people are still home, when people are more likely to be on their phones, or later in the evening. You know, we've got these ethereal Northwest twilights. Like, it could be a great idea to have twilight showings on your Facebook Live, especially for properties like Rhonda's, where every time the sun goes down, you know, what is the rest of the world? The only world that matters is that backyard. So the second kind of tour is the kind of Facebook Live you can have where you're not at the property. I do think ideally tours of the property are going to be best, but you know, if you have a buyer that wants you to do an open house middle of the week or something, that's fine. You can do Facebook Lives from your home. What I recommend doing though is doing some of your homework ahead of time, having all of your listing photos, your marketing remarks, all of people, like the stats on the property, have that all handy. So when you go live, if people start peppering you with questions, you can answer all of them right away. I have seen a Facebook Live, I saw a Facebook Live I've seen, and someone went to their desktop and there was like a bunch of personal documents in the background, and then they had to look to find the listing photos. And that just didn't encourage like a lot of confidence in me. Like, I would not hire that broker if they weren't on top of their game. It seemed messy and disorganized. So I also think if you're not at the property, cutting down the time of your virtual open house makes a lot of sense, more than just sharing your screen and trying to stay live. I would say maybe like a half an hour compared to an hour-long virtual tour, just for the kind when you're not at the property. Because, you know, when you're at the property, you can be opening cabinets, opening closet doors, showing off the backyard, etc. When you're just showing the same 16 listing photos, it's going to be a lot harder to kill that amount of time. After the virtual tour, it's important for you to promote the replay. So we can make a second flyer that was really similar to the first one, saying, you know, we're sorry we missed you at the virtual open. Check out this video link. It's important to do that because, for one, you're showing your past clients or future clients that you went above and beyond and did everything you could to get their home sold in this time. It's great marketing for you, and it's great marketing for your property. Like, during these uncertain times, people are going to be a lot more careful with who they hire, I think, for their real estate brokers, just because everything feels so uncertain. They want to make sure they're in really, really good hands. So they're less likely to use, you know, their best friend's mom. They're more likely to use someone with a bunch of really good reviews. So making sure we've got these successful skills in place, and I'll have a whole like suite of different designs that you guys can utilize. Anything you can think up that we can help you with this is good for me. So yeah, it's my sort of brief overview. Do you guys have any questions?
No, but I like that idea of using the butcher paper to represent in an empty house. As a matter of fact, it made me think I've got an artist friend who perhaps can help me actually create that butcher paper to look
like paint a couch.
And, you know, just make it fun. I just think if you're going to be on video, things have to be fun. Don't allow yourself to become droll. But yeah, throwing out a piece, you know, hey, take a look. Your bed can be right here. And, you know, that kind of a thing.
And that's a way to customize it too. Like if someone would like, you know, well, we have a sectional, then you could move the piece of couch or something. Or you could have different sizes of things.
Yeah.
What about you, Rhonda? Any questions? Are you feeling good? Nope, she's muted. Okay. What about you, Isaac? Any questions? Do you feel?
No, that was great. Really, really, really helpful. I know I said this in the last one, but like this, it's very different from regular open house. And I know there are some negative factors, but I mean, the positive factor is it's just crazy. I mean, you are getting so much more visibility than a regular open house, in my opinion. I mean, this is like,
it's a captive audience for one.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you can really blow someone away by doing this, because not many people are doing this. There's so many, when it's not COVID-19 going on, there's so many open houses every week, and it's hard to separate yourself, you know, and this is something that I just don't see anyone doing it. And so it just seems like something that you can offer that will really be unique, and just potentially a really great opportunity to get some cold leads to come in the door, virtually. Yeah. But yeah, I love the idea.
I agree.
I think I'd be all over it.
Yep. Yeah, as you were talking and discussing different points there, I wrote down things like, you know, because you're right, to talk about a room, you could be done in 60 to 90 seconds, and then what? But we have to consider how we go about marketing anyway, and think about lifestyle, you know, the whole time talking about what kind of a person would live in this house and then create that lifestyle in their minds. But I say this because, you know, I have over 20 years of doing presentations on decorating. And so that it becomes natural to me to think that way. But I definitely see that the virtual tour can be a lot of fun, and Yeah, I was just amazed here recently, thank you, my husband, who was able to create some things that we put out there. I got a YouTube video of my listing, and let's face it, my listing's a fixer-upper. But I have had so many people contact me. I haven't been able to hang on to a perspective yet, turn them around, but I was quite interested in how well that worked. So I'm anxious to continue to keep that going, and you're right. I enjoy doing selfie videos anyway, but having that house was quite interesting.
With that, I will say, talking about lifestyles, make sure to be careful. If it's Facebook Live, it does have to adhere to any of the law opportunity houses. So, there's a lot of danger words to be wary of, but there's no reason that you can't take a personalized virtual tour of someone. And like, I have a friend and she's got dogs and she wants to have like 6 more dogs. So I could do a virtual tour of a property with a huge backyard, and I could say, imagine we've got like their sheepdog practice stuff over here. They've got, 2 acres to run around in. Like, you can make it specific to your client as long as it's not on the Facebook Live, I would say.
I have 2 more things to say. Kind of breaking off of that point, or on that same point. One thing I remember from the recent designated broker classes I was taking is to remind agents to be very careful about what they advise. We're not lenders. We're not lawyers. Even though some people think, as Debbie and I were talking about yesterday, some people think we're lenders, lawyers, and psychiatrists. When we talk but remember, we know a lot of us know so much about lending. Like, I can say pretty confidently, your rate's going to be significantly worse if you have below a 680 credit score, even though you'll apply for a loan. But just saying that we're not supposed to say that. We're just not supposed to. It's not our job, and we're not licensed lenders. And so that, just be really careful, because if you said that at an open house, it's probably nothing's going to come from it. But there are trolls out there who I can imagine are looking for people to make mistakes and say the wrong thing. And who knows, maybe there's a complaint filed against you, and it'd be really easy because it's public. It's out there. When you're at a public open house, you can say something and get away with it. Accidentally, you can make a mistake and get away with it. If you make a mistake,
the internet is forever.
On social media, it's there forever. And even if you delete it, it's really not deleted. So anyways, just be really, really careful about what you say. And if anybody asks you a question beyond what our license allows us to answer, just say, let me get back to you. Let me talk to our real estate lawyer. Let me talk to a lender, or let me get you in touch with a lender and get back to you. So just a thought on that.
And that's a way to capture leads as well. Like,
absolutely.
People, especially now that you're going to be having Facebook Lives and stuff, there's going to be a lot of first-time home buyers and such that you're going to encounter comparatively to maybe an open house. So that's something where you could, team up with a lender or something, so you could promote the virtual open house ahead of time. So if anyone does ask you the question of, well, what does my credit have to be like? Can I apply for first-time down payment assistance? Like, because that person went in with you on the ad for the virtual open house to promote it, they could be your captive lead that you give the viewer's information to that lender. So you get their information, the lender gets their information, etc.
And that actually leads into my last point. Robyn, what do you think about? I often encourage brand new agents who perhaps don't have a ton of knowledge to partner with a lender at a public open house. What do you think about the idea of, regardless of if you're a new agent, partnering with a lender on this? And a couple of thoughts that come to mind on benefits. Number one, you might be able to get the lender to pay to boost it on Facebook, get more visibility that way. Number two, it's nice if you do have a question about lending to say, I'm here with John Doe, who's with ABC Mortgages, and he he can answer questions. If you have questions about lending on this home, he can answer questions. He can talk to you about zero down, loans, et cetera, et cetera. I think that would be an awesome way. And then also, last thing, even if he doesn't pay you to boost it on Facebook, he's going to be sharing it on his Facebook until you get all his sphere as well. So that thought just occurred to me. What do you think about that, Robyn?
I think that's great. Yeah. The thing about, like if you share it from your business page, so everyone who follows your business page sees it, and then you share it to your personal sphere, you've got a percentage of your personal sphere that'll see it. And then if I share it to mine, it's exponential views, right? Like you've got like a bigger and bigger pool that you're targeting. And a big advantage of having Facebook Lives is you can promote them in targeted ads on Facebook. So let's say you wanted to spend, I don't know, $40 on 4 different promotions for this Facebook Live virtual tour that you're going to have. You could pick like the areas you want to focus on. So if you decided, or if you had a listing in UP or something, you could promote it in a small section in UP for $10 and hit this many targeted people. And then you could do like the Bridge View area, like add them, and then the North Slope area, like you could pick where you want to promote in other, I don't want to say suburban, but populous areas where people are potentially thinking of moving. So you're going to be getting a lot more traffic than just putting an open house sign near, a couple side roads that lead to the property.
Right. I was going to say that's like the equivalent of putting out signs. That's how you get those people who you really have zero relationship with to stop by, if you will. Yeah, no, I think that's a cool idea. Also, if you are having a virtual open house, I would post it on our broker page, and just say, hey, if you guys don't mind, share this on your page when I go active, and I'll be happy to do that. If I see it, I'll definitely share it on mine, because, being a real estate agent, I want real estate related posts. So that's great content for me to share. And at the same time, then all of my sphere will see your open house as well. So, yeah, just an idea, post it on the broker, our in-house broker page, so that some of us agents can share it.
Yep.
Cool.
Definitely.
Thanks, Robyn, that was awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yep.
And then for Rhonda and Debbie and Andrew, our brokers that attended today, I will be sending you guys my 4 pages of notes, and I'll also be sending you the Katie Lance virtual open house guidebook. So Isaac and I decided to buy that for you guys, so we're able to share it with you, and we appreciate your attendance.
Well, thank you. Very good.
I just called you Sarah. Robyn, never done that before. Robyn, how do other people, if they're watching this recording, get access to that?
To the virtual open house guide?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my notes with everyone, but part of the incentive of showing up to the meeting today was offering the guide. So they're going to have to request it by me first. And then we're going to have to talk through a training.
Okay.
All right. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. It was lovely
seeing you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.